Oh my gosh. I don't know about you. I'm glad I lived long enough and I survived myself just so I could bask in the energy of this space, right? Just to celebrate the amazing God that lives and moves and has its being. It's our very nature, it's our life force. So there's a sweet elderly woman that every week she goes to the post office and she tells the clerk that she would like 2 stamps. And this goes on for quite some time. And finally, the clerk said to her, you know, ma'am, you can buy a pack of 20 over there at that machine, 20 stamps, and you don't need to come in here every week. She says, oh, yes, I know I can. But that machine isn't going to ask me, how is my arthritis? Connection. That is what we are made for and of, is the necessity of connecting with each other. We are going through quite a time right now and shaking things up and the unraveling and letting go of false systems and egos and fear and rage and anger in our culture. We're learning to let these things go. We're learning for the deepening of connection. When you think about COVID-19 and people required to wear masks, I don't know how you're feeling about that, but as I'm wearing my mask or seeing other people wearing the mask, I miss the essence around their face. That's connection. I'm aware that it's necessary right now, but it has humbled me of the beauty of that space of connecting with another human being between the eyes and the nose and the mouth, of that essence and those smiles. I'm also aware that at the same time, this is an opportunity for a lot of people to let go of those false masks. Who are you anyway? The chameleon types, you're just there being like somebody else, or you want to model and copy someone else. As Oliver Wilde said, you can't be repeated. You are an original. Be original, because nobody can copy you. If you are, you see. I never come to the campus on Friday. It's just not a thing that I do. And I was guided to come. I just got a strong feeling about coming this particular Friday, and I'm sitting in Lagatuda Hall in Spice Routes, and a young man comes up and said he had seen our sign outdoors and that he was fascinated with all the different things that we were promoting that we have. And he went, well, this looks like my kind of place. He was a college student, 18 years old. And so he started asking me questions. And he said, you know what I am, Reverend? I'm a lost Christian. And I said, I'll give you the shorter effect, but I said, son, when you got up this morning, right? He looked around, he said, yes. I said, so when you got up this morning, did you take your lungs out and you massage them so you could breathe? He said, well, absolutely no. I said, so did you take your heart out and pump it and tell it had to beat? He said, no, ma'am, I didn't. I said, well, for the rest of your life, please don't ever declare to anyone or anything that you are lost. You are connected to a power that is greater than you are. You are connected to an infinite source that can guide and direct you all the days of your life. Please never again affirm that you are lost. Connections are all around you, but you must take them. And you must look at how you are united with something rather than spending your life divided with something. One of my favorite sayings is that my mind is my church, and what I believe is my religion. I'm going to say that again. My mind is my church, and what I believe is my religion. This is a prime time for us to understand that you don't find church just in a building. It's in the essence of who you are. It is in the essence of knowing how connected you are. To pull down, to pull out, to open, to invoke, to call forth that power that lives and moves and has its being within you. and what religiosity had done to this man. And I was so applauding of him that he's seeking answers, that he's asking questions, that unlike so many people in our society, they just go with what somebody said or somebody did. Touched my heart. He was there for me as much as I was there for him. Human connection, that divine source, that meaning is so powerful. Little did I know when I went to get my hair done in 2002 that less than 31 hours later, my father would be dead. Little did I know is that hairdresser had dared me to drive an hour and 15 minutes. So he told me he was really good. That I would go and that he wanted to do my hair and he wanted to dye it red. And I went, well, I can be open, okay? Little did I know when 3 tries later, I had almost black hair. So did not look nor feel like myself. My connection felt very interesting. And the following morning, I get the call that my dad's in the hospital. And he's had a major heart attack. And everybody around me said, well, let us know when you'll be coming back. I'm sure your dad's going to be fine. I said, nope, dad's not going to be fine. I had a premonition a long time ago. I'm going to tell my father goodbye. That's what I'm doing. So here I am, a lady in mourning, how I had been prepared to have dark hair, that I had this cloak of mourning over me as I said goodbye to my dad and the love, one of the greatest loves of my life. It's very interesting when I look at, even in New Thought, the inconsistencies, because people will often say, I'm so sorry I didn't get an opportunity to tell my dad or my aunt or my cousin or my grandmother or someone how I felt while they were living. I did not get an opportunity to share how I feel or what moved me or what touched me or what they did to me or something I would like to see corrected. I didn't get an opportunity to do that. And I would say the inconsistency is that we believe living people never die. Living people never die. If somebody in your life is passed, they are still there. You can fully communicate with them. You can fully acknowledge them. You can tell your story. You can do your journaling. You can do your writing, and you can grow and grow and grow. My dad and I have the greatest relationship ever. Some 18 years later, and he connects with me often and guides me and directs me. It doesn't end unless you end it. You get that? It doesn't end unless you end it, because we believe in eternal life. Every now and then we have to check in with some of the incongruencies that we say we believe one way on Easter and Christmas and the Christ consciousness, and we need to tweak. Because it's 365 days a year. You can talk to anybody anytime. You can call forth, instead of quoting Martin Luther King of what he did, you could ask him right now, what would you do right now? You can ask Jesus, what would you do right now? I think that's a famous saying. I get that. You can talk to anybody. You can have anybody on your board guiding and directing you. Doesn't just have to be people that you physically just see. How big is your connection? And how deep do you believe that your connection can be? Papa Charlie, co-founder of Unity, as we celebrate dads today, his statement was, you must learn to let go and to give up, so that the prayer you are calling in can find room to come into your life. Let go of things you don't need. Let go of conversations that you're carrying. Letting go of conditions that you continue to give power to, that happened when you were 8 years old and now you're 68. Let go of these identifications that you continue to call into yourself as being, so you can make room for the prayer that you are bringing in, you see. There's many different definitions of prayer. When we look at our mind is our church and what we believe is our religion, prayer to me is that I allow the universe to know I heard the desire that came into me. I'm letting the universe know, I pray it in and I go, here I am. I heard this desire and I am willing to allow you to make it happen through my life. So many people think when they pray, it's a brand new idea. They even question if it was heard. They even question if anybody was paying attention. They question if they're worthy. They're questioning if they deserve. Forget all that. Let all that go. Let that be your celebratory Happy Father's Day today. If it comes into your mind, it was gifted to you from the universe so you could bring it into your realization in your life. Does that connect with you? Do you understand what I'm talking about? If you weren't the one to make it happen, it wouldn't have come through you in the first place. Let's get real. Let's get empowered. Let's get on it. Let's invoke something greater. And then, of course, Ernest Holmes would say, too many miracles don't happen because people don't understand that new things aren't bound. You do not need to have seen a new thing for a new thing to happen. Principles are not bound by precedent. The whole idea of miracles is you create something that you've yet to see. What a time such as this for us to all really look at what we believe about our mind being our church and what we believe being our religion as we are practicing for us holding a space of collaboration, of connection, of love on this planet at this particular time, of us working together instead of pulling each other apart. What are we praying in? What is that space and what does that energy look like? I'm reminded of a story of a man. He looked very unkempt. He looked as if he had not had a shower or a bath in a while. And so he walks up to this guy on the street and he looks at the man somewhat weary. And the man said, I don't have any cash on me. I don't have anything to give you, but he said, I've got this quarter. And this somewhat weathered man looks at the quarter and he said, sir, I can't take that. I used to collect coins and this quarter here is worth a lot of money. He said, let's go down here to the coin shop. I want you to talk to the guy. Let him tell you. And as they're walking up to the guy at the coin shop, the man looks at he says, yes, this is a valuable quarter. It's worth $125. I'll be happy to give it to you. And the weathered man says, yes, it was from 1932 and it was created in Denver and it's worth that much. And so the young man said to the guy that owned the shop, he said, give it to the man that recognized its value because apparently I did not. Apparently, I did not. Don't we get on a deeper level what's going on now? Aren't we learning now that love can come in any package? Aren't we learning to let go of any of this perceived imagery that we've allowed to get into our hearts and our minds, that when we see someone with a certain look or carrying themselves a certain way, we start collecting data to either protect or be aware or not be attentive or to block somehow? Isn't that a wonderful practice when you understand that the true namaste, that it's not just a cute saying or it's not just something that you have on a bumper sticker, but you actually invoke that particular thing, that you look at someone regardless of their image or the color of the skin or what kind of outfit they're wearing or if they have on a wig or if they have on different colors of whatever it might be, and you start that practice that says, I see me in you. I see me in you. I see Christ in you. So when we're looking at this season now, I would say that there are certain things that we want to call in our prayer. And one of them is, if you haven't already, please become comfortable with yourself. Are you comfortable with yourself? Are you comfortable with the way you look? Are you comfortable with the way that you are? Are you comfortable knowing that you are a spiritual being, that being spiritual isn't like going to a workshop? Being spiritual is like fully expressing yourself. Workshops are great, but you don't need the credential to say, I am immersed in spiritual law. Are you comfortable with yourself? Because if you are comfortable with yourself, then however someone is being never phases you. You can bless it. You can be touched by it. You can look at it. You could even be repelled by it, but it does not take you out of your being and out of your essence. Be comfortable with yourself, because it says that you have self-esteem and you can allow activities to go on outside of you, and they will not take your day or your month or your year or several years of your life unless you make that agreement. I think the thing that has helped me, and this is what my dad helped me with so much, is because I used to look at like the 80-20 rule. And I would think about the 80 things that I wish my dad had done for me, and I'd give him credit for the few 20. I changed that around. I started focusing on the 80 things he did so well, and the gifts that I received, and therefore put very little emphasis on the 20 that he did not. How do you think that affected me? All right, you really think it's about your dad? You really think it's about God? It's about yourself. Because until one makes that connection with oneself, you will project on every person that you ever meet in your life either the deepening of God or the absence of God. And you are the one that is the filmmaker creating all of these assessments everywhere you go. And that was part of the message to that young man named Adam. At first I thought it might be a spiritual joke. I was looking for Eve. I'm like, where are we going? But that was one of the things that I made clear to him. It's all about what you're feeling in here. Your mind is your church, and what you believe is your religion. So when you're gathered around people and they're negating people and they're talking about them and they're almost spitting towards them, put the attention to them. They are the ones that need to have that spiritual cleansing. They are the ones that need to have that clearing, you see. It starts with these eyes, this heart, the openness of that. So what is the 80% that you focus on in your life that is working exceptionally, that you're grateful for? Because it's in that then you see the grace. It's in that then you have that divine idea that you build upon that of all the things in your life. Because you can spend the rest of your life focusing on 80% of the things that you could have done different or you could do better. And the truth of the matter is you can do them right now. You can do them right now, and you can transcend so many people in your life. I remember a business investment that I made when I was in my 30s, and I figured that all in all, I lost $40,000, which in the late 80s was, it was all money that we lose that we blame ourselves for, we consider significant. Let's be real. But I remember that, and I remember that I'd go about my life, and I remember that accomplishments would come, and I remember that something else would happen, and then I would go, yeah, but, gosh, I could have done better back then. Why didn't I do that and do that and do this? I know none of you do it. I'm just playing it out just to share my story. So anyway, I'd go back to that place. And finally one day I went, wow, I am praying in every day or often the inability to forgive myself. I am praying in that. I am the one that got that desire, prayed within me to start that endeavor. It can't be lost. It can't be in vain. It can't be that it's not going to turn out. It can't be that it's not going to shape me. It can't be that it's not going to develop me. It can't be that because I got it from the universe of infinity, and I can't be small about it. And I get an envelope in the mail from an attorney representing a woman who was a friend of mine, and in her estate, she had left me money. And to the dollar, she couldn't leave me any other amount. You got it, going once, going twice, 3 times, she left me $40,000. Things in your life are not lost unless your mind tells you that they're lost. It may not be the way you saw it. It may not be the people you saw it with. It may not be the year you saw it. But if you've seen it, it will realize itself, because that is the power of manifestation. The issue with so many spiritual leaders today, they do not demand the manifestation of life to challenge the times that we live in. They do not demand that things become different. It's just a itsy bitsy. Oh, we're doing okay. We're okay. We are not here to just do okay. We are here to shine our light and be beyond extraordinary. Forgive yourself, clear up your stuff, and let everything open to you, because you are the one that is carrying the desire, that is carrying the manifestation, that is carrying the energy, you see. I'll close with the story of a teacher, Sunday school teacher. She felt like she had done a great job teaching the kids, and then she says, okay, so where is God? You know, one little boy said, I know where God is in my house. She said, well, where is God in your house? He said, in the bathroom. She went, God's in the bathroom? Oh, yeah. Just about every morning, my dad's knocking on the door, and he says, good Lord, are you still in there? And so it shall be. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Bless you. Thank you.